Well, the terrifying thing is, and women should know this, is like the guys that are just out for a good time, they're not much fun. And they're a lot worse than you think. And the worst of them are so much worse than you think that if you ever got a look inside their mind, you would never recover. People who haven't found their calling is that they're not noticing it in its micro manifestations. There's going to be certain things that grip you and disturb you. And those are the problems that you're destined to have to contend with. The cluster B psychopathologies are notoriously resistant to psychotherapeutic intervention. I mean, first of all, this kind of goes back to the discussion of pride. They're very unlikely to come for counseling because, and if they do, they're the sort of people, and I'm dead serious about this, they're likely to announce themselves as the sort of person that the therapist is very lucky to be interacting with. Right, that there's no doubt that this will be at least as advantageous for the therapist as for the client, and that they're the sort of special person who has graced this office with their presence. And that's not a word of exaggeration. I had some pretty unpleasant child molesting psychopaths, for example, in my clinical practice. And the one that I remember most particularly was unbelievably good at putting himself forward as a pillar of a devoted, misunderstood pillar of the community. Like, it was just his constant refrain, absolutely unteachable. And antisocial personality is notoriously resistant to psychotherapeutic intervention. It's the same with histrionic, borderline, narcissistic. It's unbelievably stable personality trait.
What's your aim and potential target with an individual like that? Like, where could your practice even take someone?
Well, what
like
I
that?
did try when I had those people, and that was often court mandated, and I think court mandated psychotherapy is a contradiction in terms because you have to come there voluntarily for it to work. My approach with people like that was to appeal to something like their more extended self-interest, which would be, well, I don't know if you noticed there, buddy, but your constant interference with children has decimated your marriage and your family, and you've been in prison for it, and people are on to you. And so a wise narcissistic psychopath might tone it down a bit, but I wouldn't claim for a moment that that had any effect whatsoever.
Wow.
The degree of cynicism that characterizes someone like that is it's very difficult to develop an appreciation for evil. It's not a fun place to go. And to do it properly, you also have to start to recognize it in yourself. And that is not pleasant.